Let us continue exploring the medium of watercolors. One of the key techniques of watercolors is the wet on wet brushworks. We need to do a lot of practice to get better with wet on wet. Today we will be exploring the wet on wet method, and we will be doing a lot of things with wet on wet, and then we will be finishing it off with a little bit of details. Hi friends, I am Vanidas Mangathil, and let us learn watercolors together. For the wet on wet practices, we need slightly thicker watercolor papers. So I am using a cold pressed watercolor paper which is around 300 GSM. I think around 300 GSM is a good starting point for wet on wet. So if you go for lesser GSM papers, you will end up a lot of buckling, and you will find it difficult. So I am thoroughly wetting the paper with a soft mop brush. The brush that I am using is uh, imitation squirrel mop brush from a brand called Stationery. And once the paper is fully wet, let me do some kind of a far end tree sort of a thing. That is the idea. So I don't have a very clear idea of what is going to be painted, but I have some I mean a vague idea that there should be some couple of far end trees, and we will also try to suggest some a nearby tree. Okay, that is the idea. Let us make another tree next to this with slightly darker tones. So for the initial tree, I have used little bit of ultramarine blue and a touch of orange. And for the next tree, I am making it even more darker. Okay, little bit of more blue and maybe a touch of Payne's gray and touch of orange. Okay, so I think this is not dark enough because the paper is wet, and you know that watercolor dries lighter. That means whatever you may see it dark at this point, but when it dries, it will dry much lighter. So you have to observe that. Okay, watercolor dries lighter. Okay, now a lot of spread is happening, and I like that the spreading behavior of wet on wet. But one of the beauty of wet on wet, and you have to actually observe when you are practicing wet on wet. You have to observe the relation between the wetness of the paper, the thickness of the paint that we are going to apply, and the amount of spread that is happening on the paper. That the relation between all these three factors are much important. If you can understand this relation, the wetness of the paper and thickness of the paint and the amount of spread, I think you learn a lot. You can get much better with watercolors then. Okay. This has some external factors like the overall atmosphere, the ambient the temperature, and then the paper quality. Okay, these things also matter, but if you understand the timing, the correct timing, then I think you are much better with the watercolor. The timing means at what time you should apply the brushwork to get certain amount of spread. Okay, if you can get that idea, it will be great. So I am splashing some water at this point because I wanted some kind of texture on the trees. Okay, so it is just splashing some water with my fingers. Okay, right. At this point, I think we got a lot of things. Okay, even though we did very little bit of effort, we got actually a lot of things done already. Okay, very magically, a lot of things actually happened. Okay, tree foliages are done, and let us make some ground here. It is basically a little bit of raw sienna, a little bit of burnt sienna. Okay, some warm colors. I'm adding a little bit more burnt sienna to that. Okay, the palette is little dirty, but I think you can see. I mean, a little bit of warmer brown color. If you want, you can add some orange also. Okay, now this much is, I think this much is sufficient. See, the idea is that I am trying to create some wet on wet shapes, and later I will be trying to develop some idea to connect them all together. Okay, now everything is wet on wet, even the paper is not dry, you can see that the spreading is happening at the bottom. Okay, so this is the overall large washes, and almost the, I think that we can treat that the initial wash of the background is done at this point. Okay, this I'm reasonably pretty happy with whatever we have got on the paper. Okay, so it is reasonably good. Maybe some splashing of water can create some texture on the ground. Okay, you have to practice this also, splashing of water. Okay, you may have to adjust your angle and then see, how the splashing are, the splatters are falling on the paper. You have to kind of practice. This was spreading too much downwards, so I'm just lifting up some of these far end tree foliages. Now let us connect those far end trees to the ground. So I'm using some thin trunks, branches with a similar color as the foliage. Okay, I don't want this to be very distinct, because it is something at the far end and I don't want too much of contrast. And let us merge it. Okay, soften it, so that, see, things at the far end are not very sharp, they don't have sharp edges usually, so that is the reason I have smudged it. Now see, at each point I am kind of evaluating what is formed on the paper, what should I do next to make it better. This is how we listen to our own idea, and we evaluate them, and then we kind of execute them. So these small ideas, look at the paper and see what is formed, and listen for some ideas how these forms can be made use of, how this can be converted into something convincing. So that is what I am doing. I think you should also do that, because that will develop your ideas. Okay, and to do this you should have some amount of knowledge about various shapes, various objects, how, for example, how we can probably create a tree, how we can create the branches. Some skills you should also you should have already developed. If not, you can do it now. Okay, so keep practicing, keep sketching. See, your sketching will give a lot of confidence in making this defining these shapes with brush. So if you are good with pencil, you would naturally be good with brushes also. That is what my view is. So if you think this video is helping you, you're finding it informative, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. And if you have any questions, comments or suggestions, please do write them into the comment box below. Okay. And if you think your artist friends can take benefit of this video, please do share it to them, so that they also can take advantage of these videos. Now what I was thinking is that let us add some interest by adding some figures. These figures will create additional interest, it will add life to the scene. See, these are at far end, and the edges may not be as sharp. So I'm just suggesting some simple shapes, and maybe I'm smudging it so that they should appear that it is at far end, it is far away. Okay, so the edges should be little softer, and we should not actually have too much of contrast. So I am adding a little bit of the body part, like the legs and the hip, etc. for the figures. I think I have added little bit too much of contrast. I should have added slightly lesser contrast there, but that is okay. Okay, right. Now some nearby figures. I have used vermilion red for this. Okay, because the next to this figure is a green tree, so I thought I will have some color contrast. They are complementary colors, and here you are getting a lot of contrast, because the background is white, paper white, and if you keep the colors bright and the tones strong, you will get a lot of contrast. That is what I am doing. So this will appear to be a focal element, focal area. Okay, so these figures, these two figures, yeah, I think this figure went slightly smaller. It should have been tiny bit bigger. Okay, so I'm making it slightly bigger, and I think this size should be fine. And let us add some details to the figure, like the head and lower body, the legs. It got spread a little bit. Let me smudge it. It should be proportionate. Okay, right, adding some little bit of shadow for the contrast. Okay, because it appears that there are a lot of light around the figures, the two figures, and I think that's it. Maybe a couple of suggestions for figures there. These are just some touches. Okay, we don't have, it is all suggestions. Okay, I think this is pretty much done. Let us add some orange for the skin tones for these mainly these two figures. Okay, I think we need to add a little bit more orange to this. Okay, maybe the arms. Okay, I'm not worried about the specific I'm not very much worried about the precision of these figures. Okay, the overall sense of action, that is what is important. So I hope this video was informative to you. Let me finish it by signing it off. And if you found this informative, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. As I told earlier, if you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, please do write them into the comment box below. I'll be more than happy to get back with my answers as early as possible. Please don't forget to share this video to your artist friends, and please do practice. So practicing is the key. Please watch the video a couple of times and practice it. And if you encounter any issue, if you have any questions or confusions, please do ask me. I will be happy to respond with my answers. So thank you very much for watching this video, and hope you enjoyed this. Please do practice, as I was already telling you. Without practice, we cannot improve. So once again, thank you very much, and we'll soon see you with another interesting tutorial. Happy painting.